What's going on, guys? Coming back with another video. In this video, I want to debadge the Mazda B2200. The reason why is because I always thought these badges were just a little too big. It's a pretty small truck and it's a small fender, and these badges are huge. And I think it'll look a lot cleaner if I do take them off. I actually already have the other fender off over here, and that's on the shelf over there. So now we can set this up and then start grinding. Got it laying on this box. We'll take this badge off right here. It's already barely held on there. Just like that. Look, it already broke the little clips that were holding it in. You can see all the little bits and pieces of rust. Here's the holes from the inside. And there's something to remember when you're welding holes like this. When you're grinding the paint off and when you're grinding the welds down, you gotta be careful not to take too much metal off. You're already working with some thin metal. You don't wanna make it paper thin to the point where you're creating more holes welding it than the holes you're trying to fix. So now we got both the panels off. Both of the emblems are popped off. Actually, ironically, both of them broke off. They're just that old. So now we can get to grinding. So we're gonna flap wheel the paint off the outside and then on the inside. And then after that, we'll start cleaning it up. And I have a little trick for how to weld holes in these fenders a little easier without blowing a bigger hole straight through them. Don't forget your safety squints, and also don't want to create a bigger repair area than you need to. This entire truck's getting painted later on, so I'm not really too worried about, how it's going to look after the fact. I just want to make sure I'm not making the metal a little too thin, that's all. Something funny actually is I'm pretty sure one of these was repainted, because you can see how that looks and then how this one looks. The primer is a different color, and I think this is the panel that wasn't painted and this is the panel that was painted. Yeah, there was something there. Not a big deal though. Honestly, as long as there's metal, that's kind of all that matters anyways. Start doing the insides. You can see all the gunk that was on the back of the one panel and not the other. And one of the panels has writing actually on the panel, so I think this one actually came from a junkyard. Kind of sucks because once you get some of this coating or whatever they were using back then to seal things from rust, basically destroys your discs. All right, now that we got all the paint grinded off of the repair area that we're trying to fix, need to grab some prep spray. This is some Dupli-Color prep spray. Doesn't really matter the prep spray that you use, as long as it cleans and degreases bare surfaces before painting, or welding, I guess, you'll be good to go. So for ease of simplicity, we're gonna work on one panel at a time. We're gonna set up the welder, but before we set up the welder, we need to find a good place to get a good ground on this for the welder. I'm gonna make a nice little grind mark somewhere where it sits under the hood, so you won't actually be able to see it. So we can put this right there. And to make everything easier, here I have a piece of aluminum. This is not an aluminum welder. So if we were to weld this with nothing underneath it, the issue is that we would be able to blow a hole through it way too easily. With a piece of aluminum, we can slide this aluminum underneath it, and that will create a perfect backing piece for us to weld up against. Do I recommend welding on a cardboard box? No. Am I gonna do it? Yeah. So now that we got our workpiece set up, we have our piece of aluminum underneath, and we got the welder set up. Now we're gonna go through and we're gonna weld all these holes individually, just trying to manage heat. We don't want to get too much heat into the panel because then it'll start to warp and twist, and it's definitely not what we're looking for. All right, so now that we've got these welded up, we'll flip the panel and we'll see how it came out. Now we'll take the grinder, we'll grind it down just to see if we can get it perfectly flush. It doesn't have to be perfect, we will have to Bondo it and everything later, but as close to perfect as we can get it. This is how we're looking. There's a couple little divots, so we can get all of that nice and smooth again. Since it is lower than the paint, we can skim coat it. So now I'll grind down the backside. I won't grind down all of the backside since you won't be seeing it anyways, and it's gonna get painted. But nonetheless, I'll flip this panel over. I'll grind the opposite side down. Okay, that's about good for the backside. And there is both panels fully welded. Not too shabby, came out pretty good. Now I want to prep them and primer them. I'm going to Bondo them later. The reason why I'm gonna primer them now is just because I don't want them to rust. They're just gonna be sitting on the truck for a while. So I'm gonna clean these up really quick, get some primer, spray some primer on them, slap them on the truck and see how they look. I think I'll like this a lot more with no badge on it. I think it'll make it look a lot cleaner. Definitely happy with how it came out. It's nice and flush. Obviously I still got to Bondo it, skim coat it, and then paint it, wrap it. I don't know, haven't really decided yet, but I am happy with how that came out. Both panels came out very well, knocked it out quick. That's like 99% of the welding done. It's a little bit more welding I gotta do on the bed still. Bodywork is last, obviously. I still need to get this thing running, which will hopefully be the next video. I'll be slapping a carb on this, a Weber carb, and we'll be firing it up for the first time. So I'm happy you hung out with me for the time being, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.